Dear Francisco, could you please tell me a little bit about yourself? What is your profession? What is your experience?
Of course. Well, the name is Francisco Zamora. I am born and raised in Puerto Rico. I am an actor, I'm a singer, I'm a producer, I'm an entrepreneur. I have my own company. I have a career for the past 30 years, and I've had my own company for the past 26 years. So I am very well versed in the entertainment industry. I'm mainly a television personality. That's what I've done the most. But I've done theater, I have done movies, and I am a singer. So there are many stuff that we have done in my musical career. So I enjoy every aspect of it. So that's why I'm so excited to be able to speak to you from Puerto Rico to Russia with love.
That's great. I also wanted to ask you about your country, about Puerto Rico, because we know Ricky Martin, we know Jennifer Lopez, and I also know that Puerto Rican girls they have like 5 ladies with Miss Universe prize. Why people in Puerto Rico are so beautiful, and what else should we know about Puerto Rico?
Bueno, definitely people in Puerto Rico are beautiful. Girls are gorgeous, and our island, our country is pretty. We are an island in the Caribbean, right next to Dominican Republic, right next to Miami, Florida. So it's an island. We are a very small island. And I believe that because we're so small, that is why we are so talented. I'm sure you know Ricky Martin, I'm sure you know Jennifer Lopez, and I'm sure you also know Luis Fonsi, because Despacito, it's a song that went through around the world. Our music is very important for us, and salsa, the Latin music salsa, is a strong rhythm in Puerto Rico, and lately reggaeton, the reggaeton music, definitely it's part of our music culture and heritage. So those are many of the reasons or many of the examples that you might know well or get to know better Puerto Rico through our music. And we have the most beautiful beaches, lovely sand, gorgeous water. I urge you to come to Puerto Rico. You will love it, definitely.
Oh, I
our
wish to
food
visit
is
someday.
magnificent. We love to eat. You love our food.
Oh, I love food. I love beautiful beaches. I love nice weather. So I wish someday I will have a nice trip around Latin America and visit different countries, different nice people.
You make sure you come to Puerto Rico. You let me know, and I'll take care of you.
Oh,
I'll take
thank
you
you.
around. I'll show you around.
That's great. And you're welcome in St. Petersburg. If you come to St. Petersburg, you will be my guest.
I will. I have never been in Russia, and trust me that I will, and trust me that I will call you, because I know nobody in Russia. So you will be my call, definitely.
Okay. So I'll send you my number. So I will be a host. I wanted to ask you about your reaction to Dimash SOS, because I enjoyed it, and I wanted to ask you, how did you discover Dimash?
I was maybe a few years ago. I was in the internet, and I was browsing the internet, and I believe that I got in front of SOS, and that caught my attention because the SOS is a sign of emergency. And I recognized it, and I played that song, and when I finished listening to it, I said, was this real? And I played it again, and I made sure that I didn't emphasize in listening to the lyrics, because it was subtitled in Spanish, and I thought the song, the message of the song, I relate strongly with it, and I just fell in love with the song. So I again played it again for the 3rd time to listen to the voice, because at the beginning I thought that it was recorded, or he was playback, or he was not singing live. But the more that I listened to it, I was so in shock And I just said, well, whoa, how this guy has such a wide range of voice. And I remember that after I heard it for the first time, I called my mom, I called my family, I called my best friend, I called everyone that I knew and said, you gotta listen to this guy. I remember that I sent the link of the song to a singer in Puerto Rico, and I said, morning gift. It was my gift because I believe that the way this guy sings, Dimash, is, whew, it's amazing. I've had 20 years of singing lessons, so I understand very well the technique. And I could see stuff that it took me many years to master, and he was dancing without any effort. It was effortless. So I was completely impressed by him. And ever since then, I kept on listening to him. So in a way, when I began doing my podcast, which was 2 years ago, I said, I kept on listening and hearing all the reactions of other singers in the internet about Dimash, but I never heard anyone do a reaction in Spanish. And that's when I decided to try to bring Dimash to my audience. Little did I know that he had so many Spanish-speaking fans or dears around the world. So it was amazing.
Yeah, and I guess they loved your reaction because it's very professional and it's like a movie.
Well, no, I believe that Dimash, he has like a magic spell. You listen to him and you get enchanted. And if you listen and if you see his videos when he was in the TV show in China, you see the teachers, their faces. They close their eyes and they're gone into a spell. The audience are like, and I believe that somehow this guy, he's been blessed with his voice and his magic. First, he's very serious and professional in the way he approaches the song. I don't see any improvisation. I see him, there is a method. He studies the song. He studies the lyrics. He chooses his pitch, his volume, the color of the voice. And it looks flawless. It looks effortless. And it shows me that this guy is definitely one of a kind. I believe he's blessed. And you know, I've always said since the first time that I met him, that I saw him, I said, if I ever met him, if by any chance I get to meet this guy, guess what I want to do? Ivan, guess what do you think that I want to do? I want to see him, I want to honor him, and I want to do this. I want to touch. I said, oh my God, what do you have in there? I want to touch his neck with a lot of respect because it's the instrument, but I want to touch it like this with love and say, oh, God bless, God bless. Amazing.
This is very, very interesting wish.
I'm sure nobody had ever told you that if he ever meets Dimash, he wanted to touch his neck. Well, other than shaking his hand, other than maybe embracing him, I want to feel his neck and say, wow, my friend, you're blessed. What you have here is a gift. It's amazing.
I also wanted to ask you about Latin Americans. Now you know that a lot of Latin Americans, they love Dimash. They love him a lot. As a Latin American person, can you explain this phenomenon?
Well, you know, it's interesting because Dimash refers to his fans as dears, his dears. And we people in Latin America, we are very passionate, very warm-blooded. We like to party. We like the romance, the strong romance. We like to live life to its fullest. And I believe that Dimash has such a strong energy, but his energy again comes from within. It comes from within his soul, his body, his instrument. And I believe that Latin American people, regardless of the language that he's using, we just can't help it. We just can't help to get touched, spelled by him, because there's something about his voice that you just go into a zoom. You go into a spell. I'm sorry. Although we might not understand what he says, music is universal. It's a universal language. So we Latin American people, will say, amo a Dimash porque Dimash es espectacular. So what I'm trying to say is we love him because he's just spectacular. He is, I believe this guy has again, I've said it many times, he's been touched. And I believe that maybe he knows it, and out of respect for his profession and his job, he shares this touch, and that touch affects all of us. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's how I see it.
Actually, his name can be translated as given by God.
Oh, of course, Dimash, it's translated to given by God.
Not Dimash, his surname, Kudaibergen, can be translated like given by God.
Well, you know what? This guy is a gift of God. Regardless of your faith or your religion, he is the gift of God. He's a gift of the main source of the universe. He is a gift. And when you have this talent, you have a responsibility. I mean, you don't get this talent just because. So one of the things that I admire most of him is how seriously he takes his responsibility and how seriously he takes each song. I'm telling you, I wish I could have a GoPro camera in his house to see how he handles stuff, because I believe there's many hours he puts into this, and for that I honor him and I respect him. I believe that he is the definition of excellence. Excellence. Excellence.
We heard that he sleeps like 4 hours in a day, and he have like 20 hours of working. So he's our teacher in that, so we work hard also.
Well, that's a good example to follow. Yes, it's important to work. It's important to sleep and to rest your mind and your body. However, it's very important to work and to put your effort there to service humankind and to help us all move the humankind forward. And I believe he does that every time he sings. I also like about him, he seems very humble. I don't know if it's a trait of his culture or the way he reacts or the way he always, but he seems very humble. And that also, I mean, having that kind of talent, that kind of power, having that humility, it's another reason for me to appreciate him and honor him more.
Yeah, that's true. He's very humble person, and he's like, he's not like a star. You know, when someone becomes a star, starts to be rude and like something bad. And he's very humble person. He never says anything about his years, anything bad, even when they could be annoying sometimes.
I know. Yes.
But he's
Yes.
really humble.
Well, it's interesting because I have seen the way he reacts to, well, his smile is, I believe he has an honest smile. And many people that work in our industry, if you get an acclaimed fame, you turn into a diva or divos, and you require the red carpet and you require all this stuff, and I don't think that works for him. I don't think that's what he's looking for. And I think the Deers appreciate that strongly about Dimash.
Dimash changed lives of people. Can you say that there are some changes in your life already, or in your
Yes.
creativity?
Well, Dimash, the first thing that Dimash did, he raised the bar. The quality bar which I pursue in everything that I do, ever since I met him, ever since I was in touch with his music, because I am dying to meet him, but ever since I heard him for the first time, I have to say that my admiration to quality, it's what connects me with him, and he raised that bar. So now quality and excellence in my work maybe has a Dimash factor in it. I strive for even better. So that's one thing that Dimash has done, and that has changed for the good in my career. Another amazing thing that Dimash did is this interview. I've had a career for more than 30 years in Puerto Rico, and I've had a career in Latin America. So I do understand the feeling of moving around Latin America and being recognized by the people. However, and when I started my podcast, it was amazing because all the people in Latin America, people in Puerto Rico, in the United States, they were all connected to me. However, thanks to Dimash, I am talking to Ivan in Russia. For crying out loud. This is out of my scope. I was never expecting this to happen. Little did I know that a reaction of what Dimash did with SOS would provoke this synergy of communications. And I remember that I spoke to my producer and I kept on telling him, you gotta listen to Dimash. We gotta do a reaction in Spanish. Oh my God. It's amazing. I was never aware of the world amount of people that were connected to me thanks to my reaction to Dimash. Not only in Latin America, also Paraguay, Argentina, Chile, all those countries, Lisboa, España, all of them, but also from other languages that they write to me on my comments, and they kept on saying a lot of positive comments about my reaction. So I have to say that those two factors changed my life. However, in addition to all that, I have to tell you that whenever I am stressed, I put Dimash and I come back to peace. So there is a magical spell this kid has, which I am blessed to open in my life. So thank you, Dimash, for all the beautiful things he had bring to my life.
Yeah, we also know about the healing effect of Dimash's music. And we actually know different people from different countries who had a kind of disease like cancer and so on.
Really?
Yeah, and Dimash helped these people to bring back them to life. So his music, it's a kind of special medicine for this kind of people.
Well, no surprise. And you know what? music is international language. There are no matter what language you speak, music is international. And the fact that you say that he has been able to heal people through his music confirms that he is a God gift. He's been sent. I mean, you are not giving such a gift, such a talent, just because there is a job to do. And I feel he's doing it with immense respect, with a profound commitment to excellence and quality. And that is as a respect for his audience, for his dears. So yeah, we are blessed to be able to live in a moment where he is alive with us and we can share his music.
That's very good good words. And let's talk a little bit about Latin America again.
Yes.
I know that Dimash, when he has a concert in some countries, for example, when he had a concert in Ukraine, he sang a song in Ukrainian language. If he come to Puerto Rico, which song should he sing in Spanish language?
Well, he can sing anything he wants. He's welcome to sing anything he wants. However, I will strongly suggest that he sings Preciosa. Preciosa means beautiful, means gorgeous. It's a song that was written by one of our most distinguished composers, Rafael Hernandez. And Preciosa describes the island that we all believe is gorgeous. And I know that he loves his country. I know that wherever he goes, he is the walking flag of his country. So for us, Preciosa is a song that describes our country. And if he comes to Puerto Rico, or if he comes back to New York, and he sings Preciosa, oh my God, people will go crazy because also it's a love song. It's a love song that you sing to your country, to our breeze, to our oceans, to our mountains, our waters, our people, our coffee. And it has a very wide range, the song. So I'm sure that he could take this song and move it to a different level. Mark Anthony, which maybe you know who's Mark Anthony, the salsa singer. He was married to Jennifer Lopez. Mark Anthony took Preciosa and he sang it many years ago, and he moved Preciosa to a different level. Well, honestly, I don't think nobody will bring Preciosa to a higher level than Mark did, other than Dimash. I think he can rock the house and blow the park with that song. I believe he's just gonna go crazy. It's a beautiful song.
So I hope someone from Dimash's team would watch this video, and someday we will hear Preciosa by Dimash.
I would love it. It will be great to hear that song in Spanish from him singing it. And also, it's interesting because the song, although it was written for Puerto Rico, applies to anyone who's in love of your partner, your girl, your boyfriend, your country, your mom, your dad. I mean, it's a love song. It's a beautiful love song. So I'm sure he could step it up a higher level, which will be amazing.
Let's see which song he will pick up after this video. He has a chance to get all hearts of Latin Americans.
Oh, definitely. He should come to Latin America. I don't know which would be the country. I mean, if I was his producer, I would arrange a tour in Latin America. Not only Puerto Rico. I would do Puerto Rico. I would do Mexico. all the way down to Argentina. So I would do several stops, and I'm sure he would do crazy. People will go crazy because there is the passion of Latin American people. You know, we are very strong. We scream, we dance, you can tell I'm here jumping on my seat. You've been sitting there like a good guy all the interview, and I'm going, rah, 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 rah. So that's the difference between the people from Russia and people from Puerto Rico. It's just different traits. That's all. No, nothing other than that.
Yeah. You know, he's coming to, he's going to visit United States for a long time, for 2 or 3 years. So he will be quite near to Latin Americans.
Ooh, nice. Then let's start to make some noise so that he knows that we are here, we exist, and he can do a stop.
I ran out of questions, and actually I asked everything I wanted.
Are you satisfied with my answers? Is that works for you?
Very, very nice. I really enjoyed talking with you. The same feeling like I had when I watched your reactions. And I enjoyed watching your face when you showed Dimash to that opera singer. What was his name?
Joel Prieto.
Yes.
Joel Prieto.
And
he was, what?
Yeah, that was very nice video. I loved it.
Well, we have another surprise. I just finished a podcast with one of our salsa singer, and I did a song after the podcast, two songs, English American songs of Dimash, and you have to see his face, and it's amazing. He had never heard of him before. And you know what really surprises me, Ivan? He said, this guy is extraterrestre. And it's amazing how many people say that same description. I mean, I was surprised.
What does it mean?
I know he's not
what does it
extraterrestre.
mean?
It means that he's not from the Earth. He's from another planet.
Yeah.
Extraterrestrial, for example.
It's like he's not a human.
He's not human. And I've heard that many times when I hear reactions of American people or even teachers in Europe. So I was familiarized to the term, he's not human. He's an extraterrestrial. But two people said it. Joel Prieto said it, and the guy that I had today, Norberto, he said it, and I was like, what? Interesting, because it's not a common word to say extraterrestrial. I mean, it's not a word that you use every day. I mean, I don't see every day an extraterrestrial person, so it's not a common word. But that was his reaction. So be aware, because it's going to be pretty soon. It's going to be pretty soon up on my channel.
If you want anything to say, we still have time.
There was a lot of confusion in my wording, the way I express it, and I took the opportunity, and I take now this opportunity to correct myself, and I appreciate many of the comments that people have been correcting me, that he's not from China, that he's from Kazakhstan, and all those details that I know, and I can relate, because it's when people say, oh, Latino people, oh, they're all from Venezuela, or they're all from Argentina, and there's a difference between Venezuela, Argentina, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Dominican Republic. I understand all that. So I took the moment and the opportunity to express my corrections, because I was mistaken in this information, but I corrected it. So I appreciate the time you give me so that I can say to the audience, to the viewers, that I understand perfectly well. Another thing is that I said in Spanish that he es un flacucho. Un flacucho in Puerto Rico means that he's skinny. But people thought that I was saying that he was, that it was not a positive word. And in Puerto Rico, it means different. What I meant is that a person with this amount of voice, I would expect a bigger body. And I thought he was skinny, and skinnier than I was expecting, maybe is a word to say. So I mean, I took the opportunity to correct those mistakes in terms of explanation, so that people know exactly that my profound respect for him and his country, and it's all admiration what I have for him.
Okay.
And for you, Ivan, I want to say I appreciate you reaching out to us. I am very honored, very honored. So I honestly, I appreciate it, and I'm very thankful for this opportunity, Ivan. Very thankful. Or shall I say in Spanish, Ivan?
Ivan is okay, and Ivan is also okay. I want to say thank you for your time and for warm words to me and to all dears, to Dimash. You are a wonderful person, and it was a wonderful interview. And I guess that dears would like it, and they will enjoy your new reactions for sure.
Well, you know, I consider myself a deer. Now that the Dimash deer word has been established as a fan, I am a fan. I respect this guy with all my body, all my energy, and I take my hat off. He's the number one. And I am honored to being able to listen to him and to allow his music to come from within and to embrace me. I really appreciate that.
That's cool that deers will have such a great person as you in deers
Thank you.
family.
Thank you. I appreciate those words. Thank you so much, Ivan.